Hello, my name's Kevin. I am the typical cripple I'm with.
Sardine.
And we are actually here to do a round two of something that didn't quite work out last week.
Yeah, so this is a interaction I had on Facebook with some of the people I on here are people that um, I was close to at one point, or at least would consider friends, and hung out with them from time to time. And I haven't seen them in person in quite a few years, but they're still friends on Facebook, and we had this interaction that yeah, it left me kind of wondering if I should just unfriend them, if it's worth continuing that. So,
Wow.
yeah.
The unfriending.
Yeah, well, anyway,
All right. Well,
without further ado, this is the original post.
so why don't you preface it real quick?
Uh,
Because I think there's a typical cripple theme to it.
okay. You're going to have to give me a little more than that.
Well, the post was about a joke.
Yeah, I mean, that'll become obvious as we read it, though.
All right, go.
All right, so, coworker trying to be funny. It's like winning the gold medal at the Special Olympics. How sad that mentally and physically disabled people's accomplishments are made fun of and joked about. Guard your tongue. People are listening. There is one who speaks like the piercing of a sword, but the tongue of the wise promotes health. Proverbs 12:18. All right, and then their friends jump in and say, now the pink ones are women and the blue ones are men. So,
Okay.
for context, the original poster is a woman. It hurts my heart so bad. I'm so sorry. It is so sad. Our children are precious in the Lord's sight. Ugh, this happens too much and it shouldn't. I am teaching mine very young that it's not okay, and we need to love everyone as Christ loved us. But from an adult, ugh. One of our family's greatest wins was watching ours be awarded the silver medal. People don't understand and use cruel words. Then there's the army that stands beside you in the daily battlefield. I still feel bad about a few really stupid and or insensitive things that I have said when I was younger, less mature, and had no experience in the real world. I think sometimes those things do happen on accident and from innocent intentions of trying to just be funny, but when you are the one who says them and you really offend and hurt someone's feelings, you can't really take it back right away, and it feels really terrible. The highest honor is winning the gold at the Special Olympics.
I'm sure the Nobel Prize Committee will be notified of that.
Oh, yeah. The highest honor. Okay.
Okay.
To push through a handicap and become a champion. Educate that coworker, please.
Am I a champion? Am I a champion to you?
In a champion in what?
Right. In the no,
I think you're created in God's image. Fallen.
I'm a champion in the Imago Dei.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of like winning the Special Olympics.
Oh, wait, we laughed at the joke. I don't think we're supposed to do that.
Right. Okay, keep going.
But you're disabled. Shouldn't you be offended at this?
I shouldn't I?
I think so. Your feelings should be hurt and you should be sad.
Where's my cat of nine tails for self-flagellation?
Oh, man. Oh.
I want the one with the spikes.
Oh, yeah. You got
I want to signal true repentance. Okay.
All right. So then this one was two people's Facebook, like a husband-wife Facebook account.
Yeah.
That's why it's blue and pink. Ouch. People just don't think sometimes. So cruel. I dream of a time when my sweet child could participate in the Special Olympics, even if he never won a medal. They just don't understand. And then I jump in, Sardine, And I say, wow, I agree that it is no insignificant thing to win the Special Olympics for a disabled individual, but to give this poor, dunked upon soul the benefit of the doubt and not add to the pile-on of virtue signaling, I'm a contrarian at heart, if an able-bodied person won at the Special Olympics, that would be a joke.
Or if a man were to put on a women's swimsuit and win a women's swimming event.
That would also be a joke.
Yes.
And it happens in real life, but
yes.
And we're heading in the if that pattern holds, we'll have trans-abled people competing in the Special Olympics sooner than later.
Well, we already have fat people in the Special Olympics, and by my understanding, they weren't there because somebody force-fed them cheeseburgers.
Or they had some medical condition that made them that way somehow.
How does one gain weight by merely taking a medication, or does one pour on mass by not consuming some mass?
Right. You can't. It takes an activity, namely eating, in order to put on weight.
And by the way,
what did you do to get cerebral palsy?
Well,
Did you?
from what I understand, it's a distress issue in the birth canal.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a distress issue. So, if the child is in distress, they pull him out through the C-section.
Right.
A lot of C-sections had cerebral palsy, but my time until they were able to readjust best practices.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Sorry.
I was delivered through C-section myself.
Right. Well, mine was in the 70s.
Mine was in the 80s.
So there might have been...
Makes a difference, I guess.
Right. Well,
20 years, actually.
Think of thromatolide.
Oh, yeah.
That really...
Birth defects galore.
It's like, Mom doesn't want to get sick in the morning, so you don't have arms.
Yeah, wow. Best practices.
Right.
All right.
Win some, lose some.
All right, so
Keep going.
that would be a joke. And I think anyway, that was the joke. That was my understanding of the person's telling of the joke.
Right.
Like winning the Special Olympics
Or
for an able-bodied person.
Or getting a participation trophy.
Yeah. We don't need to be so sensitive on other people's behalf.
Right.
Was a disabled athlete even present for this joke? Sheesh. What a cue the hate pile on. It feeds my dark heart. That was a false boast. Honestly,
Well,
I didn't enjoy the hate pile on.
And last time we talked, I think I broke out into Black Hole Sun. Because it's like, oh, you think that's offensive? Oh, poor dear.
Yeah. All right. So then, family member of the OP number 1. OP is an awesome mama of my sweetest nephew who is special needs, just not a subject to take lightly. I do pity
for you.
Yeah.
See, this is all souped up in relational language. Is an awesome mama to my sweet nephew. Well, that's cool, but I mean, that's her.
Yeah.
And you describe all disabled people.
Should we all be offended just
right.
because some...
Well, this is the classification of people.
Right.
Her sweet nephew happens to be part of a special class. Now, I get to say, oh, token nephew, don't, whatever. It's this kind of crap I tried to get out from under.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be somebody's special cartoon character, you know?
Right.
I want to be Kevin, destroyer of worlds. And you can't feel sorry for a destroyer of worlds. It's all the genocide.
Uh,
What?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's psychologically.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't want to be in that victim mentality, it sounds like.
I don't want to have people come up to me and go, oh, there, Kevin guy, and then walk away without solving the issue. I mean, this is all just, emotive romanticism. Oh, something should be this way. Let's just all shit ourselves in our pants until it happens. This is crap.
So the emotional outpour of support
Yes.
without like a
So-
real world
Follow through.
follow through. Yeah.
Right. Now, I want to say this about this anonymous person with the nice nephew. You may go and help your sister out all the time. If that's the case, good on you.
Yeah.
Good on you. But wait until he gets puberty before you start recognizing just what kind of person he is. Because when he's small and sweet and so cuddly until he gets raging hormones, wants to go do something with the girl, and you got to tell him no, it's not how you treat girls. Like you're saying, you want to tell about your coworker story?
Oh, well, I have a coworker who was telling me he used to be in the caretaking
Yes.
business
Yes.
or caregiving, caretaking, caregiving.
It's both ways,
Okay.
but I mean, as far as I'm concerned, a caretaker takes care of an object.
Okay, so caregiver.
I would like to prefer that, but
I
I'm not going to be stuck on language.
Right. That's what this is all about, right? Like
Right.
we're just trying to communicate something, and
I'm trying to communicate an idea.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to get stuck on taker giver.
yeah. So he's in the caregiving business, or he was, and
What? He got out?
yeah, he got out.
Oh.
He didn't want to go back either. So part of what he did, there was a house where there was many people that needed care, and
So-
one of them was a compulsive masturbator,
Right.
and he had to deal with that, and it was not fun.
Right. Well, and see, that's what happens when cute little nephews grow up.
I mean, hopefully not, but that is the reality of a lot of
It really.
that community of disabled people.
Well, not only that, you got the caregivers not really caring in a traditional sense about the client, where they just want to get off shift.
Right.
They
Yeah,
don't.
It's a 9 to 5. or
Right. Or whatever clock is.
Right.
But again, it's, this aunt has ties to this kid. Caregivers do not.
Right.
I once had a pastor come up to me and say, oh, caregivers, they're paid to love you. I'm like,
Have you met them before?
well, I'm like thinking, well, which love are you thinking of? I mean, are you trying to make an angle I should ask for some arrows?
I doubt it.
Right. So I'm just like, I was dumbstruck with that comment because that shows the level of ignorance outside of the disabled community and what's going on the inside.
Right.
I think it's heavily romanticized.
Right.
And what I mean romanticized, I mean, here's the level that everyone thinks it is, and it's like through the floor.
Yeah.
And the more it gets that way, the more it's going to get dangerous and crap-filled.
And in a
Because I'm trying to stay out of these homes.
sense, do you think, in a sense, things like the Special Olympics are just, they're portraying the community in that kind of fake, elevated way, versus, like you're saying, what it's kind of hiding the reality of what's really
Here,
going on?
lately, say it real slow. They include fat people as disabled.
Right.
I'm sorry if you go chop your arm off because you feel that you shouldn't have an arm. No mercy there. You chopped your own arm off. Now, if you got ripped off towing a car in a family of people from going into a river, yeah, I will help you out.
Yeah.
I will make sure you're good. But it's like transabled, transgendered, transracial. It's all a game. These are gameable things.
Yeah.
People are looking for. You've heard of gay for pay?
No.
So there was a situation where the 82nd Airborne had some guys that were getting gay for pay.
Okay.
And the question came up, is this an activity that the Army should curtail, or is their time their own?
I would say curtail, but...
Right. But given the fact that the porno industry is very health cognizant, and there's jurisprudence on workplace injuries and things like that. But nonetheless, it's like we have this idea people are genuinely just expressing, and it's like, no, there's a set of incentives. These incentives are set up in one direction only. And if you go that way, it's like walking with Jesus. May the valleys be raised and the hills made low for you. Because it just works. But it works because there are people above you making it work. Does that make sense?
What is you're saying, what's the direction that is being pushed that you're talking about?
Well, if you're a straight white male and you're hard up for cash, there's always gay porn. If I'm disabled, there's always a house for me, but all I have to deal with is masturbating, people and people acting badly and people going around, oh, they're your child. Now, if you can put your penis away, we can have dinner. I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah.
So I choose to live alone. I choose to live a very risky lifestyle. I have caregivers that aren't the best.
Yeah.
But we have one thing in common. We're not going to a care home. They're not going to work there. I'm not going to live there.
Yeah.
Because the people in the care homes don't care about the clients. They care about checks. And so once you're into the system, you can't get out.
Yeah.
It's called a welfare trap for a reason. So, anyway, there's a part where you apologize. Right?
Yeah, let's keep, I'll read some more real quick.
I'm sorry, everyone, I talk too much.
Well, it is your channel, so I think you have the right.
Why, thank you. According to your family members, I might have the right number just because of where I sit.
Well, yeah.
It's my channel. I can talk if I want to.
Well, because you're disabled, you can talk even more on this topic, right?
But not well. Because that's what last time they just mumble.
Yeah, well, you were tired and and you have a tendency to have more difficulty talking when you're
Yes.
tired,
Yes.
because it takes a lot of effort for you to talk clearly.
It does.
Yeah.
Thank you for showing.
Yeah. All right. So I do pity those who haven't met my amazing nephew and seen
All
the
right.
love God has shown through him and the leaps he has made, especially when he swims. Family member number.
Whoa, 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 whoa. So is this kid walking on water or something? Is he like motorboating through? Is this guy like Greg Louganis?
I think there might be a different standard.
No. So he doesn't swim as fast as Leah Thomas?
Nope.
Oh.
I mean, I don't think so.
Well,
But that's the whole basis of the joke, right?
right. Now, if I were to try to swim, I would drown.
Yeah.
I can't even do right myself a dead man float. So, I'm not really speaking from the place of superiority here. I'm just saying, if I go near water, I die. So therefore,
Have an acute allergy to dihydrogen monoxide.
yes.
Yes. All right. So then, family number 2, Sardine. So, what you're saying is that it should be okay for us to be insensitive as long as the people you're making jokes about aren't in the room.
Yes. Or even if they're in the room.
And they have a sense of humor. Or even if they don't, and you don't care about offending them.
Right.
All right. I don't know a non-sarcastic... Oh, and, I mean, you guys have no problem offending me, so...
Right.
I mean...
So what you're saying is putting words in your mouth.
Yeah, I don't know how... I don't know a non-sarcastic but indirect way of saying that approach to life is pretty terrible, and you should maybe reach out for a little more kindness and compassion.
Hang on. Why does it have to be indirect?
I don't know. But
Hmm.
you're maxing out that mic. Careful.
Oh. I was trying to grab it for dramatic effect.
Well, maybe it'll sound great. I just don't know. This is a sound check as well.
Yes. Our last one was so funny, but we
gave away some private details by accident, so we
Yes.
couldn't use it.
delete.
Yeah. All right. So that approach to life is pretty terrible. So my approach to life is pretty terrible. Okay. And you should maybe reach out for a little more kindness and so I don't have kindness and compassion, or I don't have enough kindness and compassion. Okay.
Well, but what's the standard? How much is enough to where
you have to fawn over and not offend anyone. And
bingo.
Be super sensitive to every different possible person that might get offended by you.
But that's the game.
Yeah.
That's the game they're playing. How do I be that person? I'm just like,
Yeah. Maybe then, next time, you won't be so, and I'm foolish, maybe then you won't be so foolish as to accuse the mother of a disabled child of virtue signaling when she's offended by someone making jokes about the disabled. Now, I didn't actually accuse the original poster of virtue signaling. I said it was a virtue signaling pile-on because of all the people that were piling on.
Well, it was virtue signaling in the highest.
I didn't say it, you said it. Anyway.
Well, when you hear somebody say something, it's like, I don't want to say who, but.
Yeah.
In other words, it's gossip. Which is also expressed.
Well, but it's unnamed, so it's not gossip. It's just an object lesson, right? You're using the person.
Only if you pray for them. Oh, I just want to let you know, I'm praying for somebody over there, and here's why. Also, another good move for gossip.
Yeah.
I just want to let you know somebody over there needs prayer.
In this particular area, yes.
And he happens to be the guy I'm pointing to.
All right.
But we're not naming names.
No. The tongue of this next person, I think, is just a friend. I'm not sure if they're family or not. The tongue of the wise promotes health. Okay. And then I thought I found some.
The tongue of the wise promotes health.
So if you have
been-
cancer, and I'm a doctor, okay, put your tongue back in your mouth.
I have a long tongue.
Yes, yes.
I can promote much health.
But only if you're wise, which I think you have some wisdom.
Thank you.
If you're a doctor and you're
Are you licking
want to
me?
promote health,
Lick
you might have
wounds.
to tell somebody that they have cancer.
Sorry,
They might be offended at that.
Sorry, you have cancer.
Maybe, probably.
We all have cancer, didn't
But the
we?
body continually fights it off.
Yes. All right, let's read.
So I've thought of some verses here that I thought applicable. Proverbs 19:11, good sense makes one slow to anger, and it is his glory to overlook an offense. So I'm basically like, okay, just don't. You can choose to not be offended at things. That's actually possible if you believe me or not.
I think this is relation to like professional standards and things like that, because our professionalism, in the sense that people are I don't know.
Yeah, well, I think the context. We'll find out later that the context was partly. So it's like a healthcare person, and they're making this comment to coworkers. But again, it's like
Right.
if it's just coworkers and not like to a different somebody they're caring for, I don't have as much. You know what I'm saying? Like people joke around.
Here's what I'm getting at. Overlook an offense.
Yeah.
If somebody's doing something wrong, they need to be turned in.
Mm.
And by turned in, I mean to an authority for a crime.
Right.
But if they're not committing a crime,
If they're doing their job.
yes, and they're just being funny.
Yeah.
Like I tell my caregivers, can you please stop waterboarding me in the shower? And then they put water on my face.
Okay.
So, so it's kind of where I sit. Is it
Should you report them for that?
Well, even if we did, one of the guys saying like caregivers waterboarding me in the shower, it's like the case manager would say, "Well, at least it's in the shower." I mean,
Yeah. All right. So, okay, Ecclesiastes, do not take to heart all the things people say, lest you hear your servant cursing you. You know, your heart knows that many times you yourself have cursed others. So again, it's just like we say
God's
things.
not.
We say things that might offend different people, and it's
I say
not a good idea to just take offense at things.
I say offensive things all the time.
Yes.
And you know who are the people I don't want to be around?
Who?
I'm offended.
The
It's
easily
like,
offended.
ooh, cool. Thank you for putting yourself out. See ya.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. If your brother sins against you, go and tell him his fault between you and him alone. If he listens to you, you have gained your brother. Again, it's like if this person actually did something vitally wrong, then go tell them. Don't tell Facebook.
Right.
Let him who is without sin among you be the first to throw a stone at her. So again, it's
Well, I
just like,
think Jesus is being sexist here.
mm,
I mean,
what?
throw a stone at her? I mean, women even, you shouldn't throw stones at women unless they, what? Well, you know what that's from, right?
Yeah, I mean, the whole situation was a woman caught in adultery,
So
supposedly, but then if,
somebody had to be watching that.
well, there's a couple issues with it. It's like if she was caught in adultery, then where's the guy, and why is he not also being stoned?
Right. And where's the party of rabble rousers throwing her out there?
Yeah.
Were they all party to the witness of the watching of the woman scrogging the dude?
Yeah, there's definitely some
I
questions
mean,
about that.
there's a whole chain of events here that needs to be kind of sorted out before you get to the woman thrown before Jesus. I mean, it's like,
All right. So then I replied to the number two family member, the one that really
yeah, yeah.
was pretty vicious. That's not what I was saying, or that's not what I was trying to get across. I'm saying it looks to me like there is an oversensitivity and readiness to take offense. If I know someone is
Oh.
sensitive about a topic, I should probably try to be cautious about how I approach it with them, or avoid it altogether, or avoid them altogether. But just because someone is insensitive about something doesn't mean just because someone is sensitive about something doesn't mean everyone needs to be, or even that they are right to be. Our feelings are deceptive and full of sin, even a mother's instinct to protect her child. Okay, there's
Well, a
everything is mixed with sin.
mother's instinct to protect her child is not above all other feelings,
Right.
and certainly not above reality.
Yeah. And the law,
Well, it's like
the
all
moral
those,
law.
it's like all those Me Too people.
Right.
Sure, there was some. I mean, Harvey Weinstein definitely needs to go to jail for what he did.
Right.
But on the other
And
hand,
there was 2 or 3 witnesses there, right? There was multiple people.
well, he did it multiple times, so yes, there would be multiple attestations that he did this.
Although,
But
if it was
like
consensual with all of
it's
them,
not like Uma Thurman. Call Uma Thurman, Barry, a bunch of actresses, and have them up to my hotel room by 12. Oh, I'm taking a shower. Anybody want to join? There's a contract in it for you.
yeah. This is a man abusing his position of power.
Right.
However, in the culture of Hollywood, I mean,
The casting couch is supreme.
yeah, I don't know if
Well, look at
it's just like there's not really a completely innocent party in that situation,
right.
unless he actually physically forced himself on somebody.
Well, it's like Kylie Kuko.
I don't know.
You know who that is?
No.
The Penny from The Big Bang Theory.
Okay.
She's a blonde girl.
Okay.
She played the hot chick.
Right.
She comes out, she does the kind of the grind of Hollywood. Turns out she got her start in porn.
Mhm.
And it's like, oh, okay, well, that's where a lot of girls get their start, and then they get higher and higher, better gigs.
Right.
And then she got into Big Bang Theory, and everyone gives her crap because she got married, and she's like, I like being a woman.
Mm.
Making my husband food. It really does the body good.
Mm.
And she got slammed for being traditional.
Yes.
And you're
Those incentives. You can go one direction, not the other, right?
right.
Yeah.
And so the way I look at it is this. When you're young and hungry, it's how extreme does it have to be to get ahead. And when there's a high level of competition, there's a high level for corruption.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be that way until Hollywood reforms itself, which it hasn't.
Nope.
It just threw Harvey Weinstein under the bus and went back to normal. And when I think of normal, I think of who was the Corey that made the gay rounds around Hollywood?
I don't know.
Corey Haim or whatever. There were these Corey guys back in the 90s that were like really big. They were in like Lost Boys. Remember that movie?
Vaguely.
Well, one of those boys ended up getting kind of farmed out as a prostitute.
Yeah.
Sucked.
Yeah. All right. Do you want me to keep going with this thing?
Am I not doing what I said I'd do? Shout out and let you read.
Well, no.
Sorry.
My stupid phone is vibrating nonstop, and I'm trying to turn off the vibration.
Alright, well.
Be silent. I don't want you vibrating. I don't want you doing any sound. I'm gonna turn you off, you little son of a gun.
Alright.
You're going down, buddy.
Hand me the cigar. I'll put it in my mouth and stage right?
You got it? Alright. So...
Oh no, the guy in the wheelchair just took a cigar. I'm not a good role model.
I think you've assumed a lot about how I treat people, think, and feel based on very little. For one thing, I didn't know the OP was mother of a disabled child. For another, I don't actually think virtues... Okay. I don't fully agree with some of the things I wrote here.
Get to the part where you talk about me.
Yeah, okay.
Because I don't think they quite understood that I'm your token.
Well, I wouldn't think of you as my token.
But I am your token.
What does that mean then?
What?
It makes...
What do you mean, what does it mean? It means that I'm not a bigot. I know a guy.
Yeah.
And you're not a bigot.
Well, yeah. I mean, that was part of the reason I jumped into the conversation was...
Right.
Because I don't... Like...
It was a feeding frenzy on
I know you would have found the joke funny, most likely.
Well,
and I'm like, I don't know if this is a good way to react to these kinds of jokes.
I once had a caregiver come to me and say, "Hey, you want to hear a dirty joke? A white horse fell in the mud." and he's like, "You don't find that funny?" It's like what I did when I was 4.
Yeah, right.
So,
I get it.
By the way, the Special Olympics joke was funny when I was 6.
Mm.
Before the Special Olympics were even there.
How's that work?
Jokes are... Well, I don't know exactly when the Special Olympics started, but I've heard variations of that joke several times over.
Yeah.
And people are like, "Oh, is this only funny?" It's like, yeah, it's funny, but, you know, after about the first time hearing it,
Yeah.
you have to rely on the surprise for funny jokes.
The unexpected.
Right.
Yeah.
Winning a gold medal at the Olympics as a Special Olympics as an able body, I guess it would depend on the event. Because I'm sure shot put, whether you're blind, does that matter? on the assuming you can get the rotation down.
Yeah. Ring,
Oh,
ding, ding.
lovely, my phone. Hang up.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. So, OP's husband jumps in. Sardine, you're missing the point. You've proved what OP was saying equals guard your tongue. But instead, you chose to assume the innocence of this person, who is unnamed, therefore not shamed, who said many off-color things with no regard for others.
Who is this unclean?
Unclean.
Who is this leper?
Yeah. Off-color things with no regard for others.
No regard.
Not a single comment was made towards this co-worker. So there's no dunked upon or pile on. I think I just fundamentally disagree with that statement.
Well, that statement's pretty much non-contradictory. it violates the law of
Yeah.
non-contradiction.
The
It's
original post was about the coworker's comment.
right. No one was named, so no one was shamed. It's like you just who then what snuffleupagus are we talking about?
Yeah, it's not a hypothetical situation. It's a real situation that you're just hiding the identity of a person, but you're
Right,
still shaming them.
right.
And hey, I think on the judgment day, all the things that you say will be revealed. So,
Barring Jesus cares,
huh?
well, he's going to reveal all the things that he cares about, right? There's going to be some sort of
I don't know how it's going to work exactly, but
there'll be some sort of sorting algorithm. I'm sure the time you were like, "Arr!"
right.
It's like I didn't like that. That was done in a malicious manner, sir.
I think we'll probably be held accountable for our social media posts.
Oh, see, that's a good reason to have a YouTube channel. So you can work out the bugs of the way you look at things.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Not a single. Okay. You yourself had no consideration for the purposeful ambiguity, focusing on the content of the person's words and not a personal attack.
Sounds to me like somebody got upset at their pylon.
Yeah.
All right, keep going.
Virtual signaling. I think he meant virtue signaling.
Virtual signaling. I like that. I
Is,
am virtually signaling you.
is boasting about something you've done in the name of some pseudo behavior or action which has no real meaning.
Well, if it's a pseudo behavior, it's not quite a good follow through.
No. In the name. Okay.
Is your grammar Nazi going off in your head?
Yeah, it's.
Keep going.
Yeah, I'm
Just
confused. But
let
anyway,
your eyes
I'll let
glow.
the audience figure out what everything means. OP did not even mention herself, nor use this post as a means to make. Again, I think you're just denying reality here. I mean,
Yes.
the post has your name on it, and whether or not you were trying to make yourself look better. I
So
mean,
is this dude white knighting or what?
well, it is his wife. So,
Female in distress must help.
yeah, I guess so.
There must be more of a backstory. Here, you talk to him, honey. I can't deal with him.
Yeah. Well, yeah, maybe, probably. Had you known the context of the situation, you would have understood her position. But since you failed to ask how this makes her sad, you presumed to virtue signal how your interpretation of the situation is better, and that your perception had no care for others. And that your perception had no care for others because you knew it was a disagreeable position when you said cue the hate pylon.
I gotta ask you, is this guy an empath? He must be a Counselor Troy type.
I don't know. I don't know.
Keep going.
But he does seem to know a lot about what was going on in my head.
Right. Please, until I told the guy, guy comes with me and wants to hang out, and he's like, I don't want to hang out like this. And he's like, you're not cooperating. And I'm like, no.
So, if you knew that that was going to be the reaction, stop trolling, because even a fool is considered wise when he shuts his mouth. Now,
that is a good reason to. That's a good censorship move right there.
Yeah, shut up, you fool. I
didn't call you a fool. You just said, if you're a fool, you shut your mouth.
Yeah.
So you didn't.
Well, but they're considering me foolish because I spoke.
Well, they're going to consider you foolish no matter what, so you might as well say.
Well, but, okay, so the thing about what I was saying is I felt it was worth saying because I had a contrary opinion.
Yes. After all this.
So are you saying, I'm asking now the husband, are you saying that somebody shouldn't say something that they believe is true just because the reaction that they're going to get might be negative? Because that's what it sounds like he's
Yes.
saying.
Well, it's a call to tribal arms.
Hmm.
Um. So.
Okay, which is what OP said. Guard your tongue. Well, okay. I don't think guard your tongue means don't say anything that might upset people.
Guard your tongue selectively.
Hmm.
Now, darn it, can't you figure out the rules by what I'm trying to tell you?
Hmm.
Damn you for making me tell you.
Hmm. Yes. Well, I did know. I did kind of realize what the rules were, and I just didn't agree with the rules.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh.
Sorry.
Now you're not playing the game we want you to play.
I don't like playing games. At least not that kind. The very things you
Yeah.
claim. What?
Keep going.
The very things you claim OP's family member number 2 assumed about you, you did by your words. If you were misunderstood, then clarify, apologize, and learn.
Wow, that's like, we're going to sit you down, we're going to put on thumb screws until you comply.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, these are nice, sensitive people.
Yes.
Sensitive like Maoists.
Mm. Yes, this is, I now kind of know what a mild struggle session feels like. As to oversensitivity, I don't know if you've been around a person with special needs. Huh. I don't, well, you don't know, but you did assume. He did assume.
Hi, my name is Kevin. I like ketchup.
Wait, you just used you were mocking people with Down syndrome just then. How dare you?
I hired people with Down syndrome. What the hell are you talking about? I have people that wipe my butt with Down syndrome.
We're just transgressing the rules though, because I'm laughing at this joke that is clearly at the expense of people with Down syndrome.
And we're completing the circuit by laughing at them being offended. Isn't that a wonderful circle of life?
Yeah, it is pretty. It is pretty.
Keegan.
It's very pretty. I don't know if you've been around a person with special needs, but the effort that person and their caregivers put into their life should not be considered as trivial or outright disregarded. Yes, it was a poor choice. Again, this is missing the point of what I was trying to say.
All this is word salad and
Yeah.
verbal vomit.
Yes, it was a poor choice of subject to try to be funny about.
No! It was not. It was a joke.
Yeah, but that's not how you do it. I kind of lost your train of thought here. And for adult caregiver in a hospital setting to be so inconsiderate, it is.
Where did the hospital show up? When did that little kid? Is this kid on a ventilator too? Does he have the feeding tube?
No, she said coworker. So I'm pretty sure she's a nurse, and this was another nurse or something like that. So 2 nurses.
So nurses can't make gift jokes?
That seems to be the message.
Here, let's do a gimp joke. What do you call a guy with no arms and no legs?
What?
In front of a door.
Oh, Matt.
Yes. Gimp jokes.
Yes. But all right.
Now you put your foot in your mouth, right?
Well, no. So then this is another friend of the original poster, and she's gonna tell me. She's gonna tell me what for. Sardine, it would be wise to bow out of this conversation at this point.
I'm sorry. I thought she was gonna say bow down.
Yeah. Well.
Maybe
that's why the word was there. I don't know.
If you only bow down and worship us, all this will all go away. Wonder who said that.
There was I don't know, something about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego?
No, it was Satan.
Oh, yes,
To
right.
Jesus.
To Jesus, yes. That's another
As,
situation.
as Jesus was like sitting there looking at Satan, Satan's like, I will give you a whole world if you bow down and worship me. He's like, I once had a roommate that once said if you quote scripture to non-believers, that's inherently wrong.
Huh?
Because Jesus only said scripture to Satan. Which I'm like, really?
That doesn't make any sense.
No, it was a total non sequitur.
All right, so it would be wise for you to bow out of this conversation at this point. By your own admission, you don't know OP or OP's husband well enough to know that their sweet oldest son has. Again, the fact that that they have a special needs child is kind of irrelevant to the whole topic.
But it went from sweet little nephew to sweet oldest child. I mean, it's like this. There's so much sweet and goodness. Who is this unicorn?
Is he a sinner? Do you think? Does he
I wonder.
share in that?
Does he have the Imago Dei, or is he an Elohim? Is he a little demigod?
Maybe.
Does he make poopy in the potty?
Well, which makes it clear that you haven't spoken to them in a good while, seeing as OP's son is at least 7 years old now. It would be the better part of wisdom and prudence to not engage in debate with people you haven't talked to or caught up with in many years, no matter the topic. Even more unwise not to relent after many voices of reason and experience have tried to explain the original intent. Go in peace.
All right. I say this: if he's 7 years old, we'll check back in 7 years and see if his testicles dropped yet.
Well, yeah.
Well, remember, I mean.
So, at this point in the conversation, I basically had a moral failing and succumbed to the pressure of the
Yes.
mob. And
yes.
I'm not. I did bow out.
You did.
And I'm sorry I did, honestly.
This is where I double down. I'll be honest with you. It's not pretty.
No.
Because people like this will just and they move on.
Well, and it's interesting too. So let's from their perspective.
All right.
Let's say I go ahead and apologize.
Then you've proven them right.
But there was no response to my apology.
Right.
So in a Christian setting, shouldn't there be a response to my apology? Not just, okay, now we're going to ignore you?
What? Continued relationship with a sinner like you?
I guess not. Okay.
Because remember, the game in wokeism is crucifixion.
Crucify him. Yeah. So, I mean, maybe it's because my apology was insufficient. Maybe that's why I didn't get any further interaction. I don't know.
They probably. All right. So
I think there might have been a legitimate point somewhere in my head, and I still do, but it didn't make it out in what I wrote. I think there was too much verbiage, and some of the stuff I said wasn't right. So that part is right.
Do you want to continue to flagellate yourself, or?
Well, I'll read it just for the point of the video, so the whole thing is done.
All right.
Thank you all for your patience. Sorry. I spoke too hastily. I repent of these words. I didn't communicate what I meant well, and I misjudged the situation. Please forgive me.
No, you didn't.
Yeah. Well, in writing this apology, I did misjudge the situation.
Yes, you thought you were wrong.
And then I went on to respond to just one more thing. Yes, I hang out with someone with cerebral palsy pretty much every week for several hours. I am very much aware of how much effort that person and his caregivers put into his life and do not consider it a trivial thing. I also help take care of my stepdad as he is in a wheelchair because of degenerative back problems, and I've spent significant time around other folks with special needs. I never meant to imply it was okay to mock people with special needs or make fun of them or bully them or be mean to them. If anything I said implied that was not my intention. So that's how they took it. But I was basically just saying we don't need to take offense at jokes that
look down,
maybe at the expense of somebody.
Look down here. You got responses.
No. None of these are responses to me. No one responded to me. These are These are responses to the original post again. So all this part is indented. That's all response to my comment here. But then after that.
See, I saw the well said. And like.
No. Yeah, no, none of these comments have anything to do with my comment.
All right. So.
But I haven't heard from any of these people since this.
All right. So you've been canceled.
Little mini cancellation, I guess.
How's it feel?
I feel foolish.
Do you not feel free?
Well, in part, like.
Because the only...
In making this video, I feel more free.
The only thing they have over you is the power you give them.
That's right.
And that's the thing I think we should point out is that you're cooperating in this psychosis. And the less we give them... See, it's like going to the store... and you see a dude with a full beard and a dress. You go, oh, sorry, ma'am. You're contributing to the problem.
Right. Yes.
You're contributing to the delusion of others. And I think that should be a punish. I think in regards to that, we're going to find that we're going to suffer mightily because of this.
Right.
Did you see... the Lotus Eaters where the trainee was welcomed into the church?
No.
All I could think of was, the abomination that brings desolation. Lovely.
Yeah.
I wonder if anyone else thinks this way. And I think we're so big on tolerance. We're willing to tolerate anything, including to pedophilia. Because it's like, I really like your kid. Don't call me a racist or homophobic. Take my kid. And when you think of that, what does that remind you of? Lot? Please, have my two daughters. They have never been touched by men. Wait a minute. Weren't these girls betrothed? Mm-hmm. And when he went to to his in-laws and like, hey, let's get out of the city, they're like, we don't want your daughters anymore. You just threw them to the city. We can't marry them now.
One thing I want to circle back to this.
Yes.
Is
no.
The power that it has, the whatever you want to call it, cancellation, is the fact, the social pressure, is the fact that I considered most of these people as peers and as people that I had some respect for.
Right. Because they were nice to you.
Well, yeah, I mean we had a lot in common. Not
anymore.
Well, at least not on this topic. I'm sure there's many things we still agree on, but it was that I guess social pressure if you want to call it, but
yeah. Well, you know why that is, right?
We want to fit in. We want to belong. I don't know.
Why do we want to fit in? Why do we want to belong?
Why?
If you fit in, if you belong, there's strength in numbers.
So you're saying tribal?
I'm saying it can be expressed in both religious and evolutionary terms.
Right.
That the more people you have on your side, the more effort it takes to move the amoeba of impersonal people.
Hmm.
Because it's like it's like if you're with a group of people, you feel safe.
Yeah.
Because you are safer. Unless they all abandon you. In which case, are you really safe? It's a false sense of security. You're
Yeah.
using...
If you step out of line.
Right, they'll just exclude you.
Yeah.
Hoping they won't be excluded themselves.
Mm.
There you get the... you ever hear of the capos?
Like the
Jewish...
Italian.
No, Jewish
Oh.
members... they were forced for a little bit more ration. They would go into the ghettos and find Jews
Oh wow.
and pull them out to get one more day at home.
Mm.
Eventually, they were the last people to go to Auschwitz.
Mm.
So the question comes down to this. How long is it? I mean,
So
all I'm trying to say is these people found you to be somewhat intolerable.
yeah.
And they ganged up on you and gave you one too. The question is, are these people trustworthy? And when the chips are down, are they going to throw you under the bus? Or are they going to rally around you like they're rallying around this kid?
Mm.
Because if they're rallying around this kid who's... I'm going to say something really controversial here. Economically useless,
Hmm.
as I am, I mean, you're putting the wrong thing at the top of the hierarchy.
And that is a our whole culture's hierarchical system has been inverted.
Because people want a signal. So they'll take a lineman, a person of real, tangible value, and throw them under the bus.
Mm.
To say, oh, we like cripples. We like these people because they can project whatever they want on us. And most disabled people just like the attention.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I something, I find that you have real tangible value as a thinker and as a conversationalist.
Well, thank you. I appreciate.
Not as a swimmer or an athlete
or a soldier
or a soldier
or a cashier.
Honestly, if you had a gun in your hand, I would probably run away.
What if I had a knife in my hand? You're the bigger danger.
I would just keep my distance.
You do realize there's an old joke. How do you kill well, you know the old retard sign? You know, where you put your arm up like this and you whack.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you kill a retard? Give him a knife. With me, that's a true statement.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that funny or what?
It's a joke.
Let's.
It got a chuckle.
Let's show them. Let's show them what kind of good sport I am. Let's show them my.
Oh no.
Let's show them the background.
Oh boy, here we go.
All right, just so you know, I'm a good sport.
Oh.
Check that out. Now let's break this down. Now, what's the showing? Can you describe it? What's this?
A sheepdog?
Yeah, sheepdog's reference.
Just like a police.
No, it's like sheepdog is the idea that you want to protect.
Right.
But This guy's got the heart, just not the drive or the will.
Yeah.
And so there are lots of people. This is about everyone. If you're out of shape, if you're not doing your best, you're like this. Sure, you might have a lot of 5.56, but
And 9 mil.
where's the 9 mil?
That's right by his hand.
Gosh, this is a. I had bought thousands of rounds of 9 mil. Oh,
I mean, it would make good currency.
Yeah, but I've been told it also makes you a target.
Right. Well, that's why you don't post the fact that you have it.
And I don't.
Yeah, you don't have any 9 mil. What are you talking about?
Yeah. But
And if he does, it's in a gun ready to shoot you.
I don't have guns.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just trying to
I
make
know.
everything ambiguous.
Thanks, then. But see, I think when people look at me and they see that I'm the prepper, see that I like certain things, they see this. It's not a nice picture, but it is realistic. And if we don't base our perceptions on reality, then we become romantic about life and we lose the ability to be fit.
Yeah.
With that said, I'm Kevin.
The atypical cripple, and I am Sardine.
See you on the next bounce.
Adios.